I have a couple of other friends who were gun runners, but I've never done that myself. The closest I ever came is when the Chicago Red Squad was investigating me as a gun runner, which is an amusing story in itself. At least it amuses me in retrospect. I was working for Playboy at the time, and people wonder how my novels get so complicated about conspiracies within conspiracies and so on. This was one of the crucial incidents in the development of my philosophy of mammalian politics. I was working for Playboy, and a chap whose function was never clear to me, although he was very close to Hefner, came into my office and closed the door. I was an associate editor. He closed the door, he pulled a chair over close to my desk, and he said, "This is serious. You're under very close surveillance by the Chicago Red Squad. They got a tap on your phone, and we think they're doing a mail cover on you, too." And I said, "What the hell's that all about?" I mean, I was involved in the peace movement, but I didn't think that they went that far just from marching around with a sign saying, "Eat what you kill." You know, I said, what did I do that got the Red Squad so intense? And he says, "They think you've been running guns for the Black Panthers." I said, "Running guns for the Black Panthers? I don't remember doing that." I began to feel a little bit like Ronald Reagan must have felt recently. Did I do that one day? I was so stoned, I don't remember what I did. Oh no, I never did run guns for the Black Panthers. And the more I searched my memory, the more I realized that I had been on platforms with Black Panthers on 3 occasions at peace rallies. And I said, how did the Red Squad get the idea I was running guns for the Black Panthers? And this chap said, "Well, they got an informer in the Black Panthers, and he says you were bringing guns down there to their headquarters on the South Side." And I said, "You know, I think what happened is the informer saw me with Black Panthers at times, and that wasn't good enough to excite his superiors at the Red Squad, so he improved the story a little." A Playboy editor on a platform with Black Panthers is of moderate interest. A Playboy editor running guns for the Black Panthers is of greater interest. And so I think that's what happened, because I swear, I think the statute of limitations has run out. If I were running guns, I would admit it now. I was not doing any such thing. But that's probably still in my file at the Chicago Red Squad.
Forever.
So I lived for quite a while with the knowledge that my phone was tapped, and I was wondering what was happening to my mail. But I was more concerned with how the hell did Playboy know about this? So I asked the person whose name I am carefully not mentioning, I asked him, "How does Playboy know what the Chicago Red Squad is doing?" And he said, "Well, we got a fellow at police headquarters. He tells us when an investigation is being opened on anybody who works for Playboy." Later on, it turned out there was another member of the Red Squad who was being paid by 2 rich liberals in the Chicago northern suburbs where the rich liberals live, Wilmette, Winnetka, Glencoe, that area. These 2 rich liberals discovered this cop was in their peace groups. They recognized him as a cop, and they approached him. And he was very glad to go on their salary. They paid him regularly to be informed of what the Red Squad was doing. So that's 2 agents I have personally found out about in the Red Squad. Well, there were 5,000 agents from the Chicago Red Squad, the FBI, the CIA, and Army Intelligence watching me. Yeah, that's the kind of world that we're living in, whether most people realize it or not.
And it depends on the side you're on, really, because I was actually running guns, and the FBI knew every single thing I did, but of course I was approved. You can be an approved gun runner. And so there was never any problem about it.
That leads to another of my paranoia-inducing stories. Some of you may remember about 3 years ago, the head of NORAID, that's Aid for Northern Ireland. The head of NORAID stood trial in New York for running guns for the IRA. They were theoretically collecting money for the widows and orphans of the war, but they were actually buying guns for one side of the war.
That's just prepayment.
Something like that. Yeah, that's right, it's prepayment, yes. And
get the widows
his
later.
defense, the head of NORAID, his defense was that he didn't believe he was committing any illegal acts. He found it incredible that he was arrested. He still didn't understand what was going on because he was getting the guns from the CIA. And the government tried to squash that line of defense. But his lawyer managed to persuade the judge it was a legitimate defense, so they brought in the evidence and proved that the CIA was running guns for the IRA. And so I asked Sean McBride, who some of you may know is the founder of Amnesty International. He also won the Lenin Peace Prize, the United States Medal of Justice, the Lenin Peace Prize, the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal of Honor of the United Nations. And in Ireland, of course, with all those honors, he's still best known as the son of John McBride, who was one of the revolutionaries of 1916. I got to interview Sean McBride, and I asked him about that. I asked, why would the CIA be running guns for Marxist revolutionaries? And he said, when you get into the machinations of intelligence agencies, anything is possible.
Norman Mailer's description of it is that it really is like an onion, and you can peel it endlessly, and you'll never get there because there is no there. Funny business.